Hello to my family of light, you beautiful, courageous, and wonderful beings. Thank you for joining me here today. My name is Claudia, and I'm all about your soul matters. In this episode, it really deals with feelings that are buried alive and hidden from us, the ways that they eke out and how they impact our lives, and more importantly, what we can do about it, because we have an inner guidance system, we have an inner compass, and we have things that are hidden from our view that are at our disposal to help us resolve issues that we're having in our day-to-day lives. So in this particular episode, I'm approximately 50, and I'm at some event with my husband, and there's a buffet line, and we're visiting with old friends and whatnot, and I'm hungry, so I tell my husband I'll go get a plate, get us a spot, and when he's ready he can join me. And I go and I do that very thing. Okay, I'm standing with my plate, having found a spot for us to sit, and he's still visiting. And I stood there for a minute, and something switched on inside of me. I cannot describe it, because when your inner compass wants you to know something, you get a sense about that. It's a feeling, it's an awareness, it's a sensing. And I happened to ask the question. I said, Claudia, this is interesting. You never want to be at the head of the line. That looks like, you got to eat, and you look like you could spare 10 years worth of meals. So you don't want to embarrass yourself. But you don't want to be at the end of the line. So you always find a place somewhere in the middle there to eat. I wonder why that is. And I was shown a memory of when I was 11, and I'd had an event in which I needed to finish it. Mom had rung the dinner bell. I needed to finish the task I was working on, and so I got to the meal 15, 20 minutes probably late. And when I got there was no food left. And I remember looking at my mother. At that time I was 11, and I looked at my mother and I thought, how can you forget me? I'm looking at a table that had been laden with ribs and chicken and coleslaw and beans and a potato salad and watermelon and cantaloupe. There wasn't even a scrap left. And Mom looked at me, and as I looked at her, and I'm thinking to myself, how can you forget? Now, with that in mind, those are hurt feelings of a child who has had a series of hurt feelings that have been buried. And in this culminating moment, I pretty much resolved that I was in the wrong family. The stork had missed the house, that I wasn't loved, that I wasn't worthy of love. I mean, there's all kinds of things a child makes up. They take on the burden and responsibility for their feelings. But as I'm standing there having this memory, what guidance showed me, it zeroed in on my mom as I'm going through my memories. Guidance had me zero in on my mom's face, look into her eyes, and in looking into her eyes, I could hear her thoughts. And what she was saying to herself was, how could I have done that? How could I have forgotten my precious daughter? And in that moment, something transformed in me, a realization that whatever thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that I had about not being loved, not being cherished, not being worthy, not being a worthwhile human, being stupid, whatever all those accumulated stories were that I told myself were false. And it altered my life. What I realized from that moment on, anytime something came up surrounding food, every time I got to make a choice. You know, you can skip a meal, you can choose not to take that extra bite of potato, or skip the bread, or or have the extra is fine. I mean, all of a sudden you are consciously aware and of what your actions are doing, and whatever thoughts or feelings that you have that come up with those that take away your choice are there for you to choose. You get to choose to ignore those thoughts and feelings, that they're no longer valid because they were blown out of the water with a different perspective. And that's how our guidance, that's how our inner compass works. It will never, never, ever do anything to harm. It will never do anything except to help you understand from a different perspective and bring it out of the hidden places. Those feelings that are buried alive that never die are now out in the open, and you get to choose another thought, another way of being and acting and behaving. And that is what this message is about. Your guidance is a very powerful tool. Get to know it, begin asking questions, and listen to your body, because it will answer them. Ask the question, taking deep breaths, and then just sit with it for a while. And if you don't get an answer right away, it'll come. Be patient. Thank you for joining me today. And if you want to know more about me, tap on the description below. Please like and subscribe. That helps to share the information with others, and that makes you a seed planter too. And so in the meantime, I want you to know that you're loved beyond your imagining. So be well, be safe, and be happy until we meet again.